Nowadays there are so many ways to get yourself a Pi-based system, but you need to take consideration these LCL Game Boys are custom made, and so far I understand he is just a single person who making these custom Game Boys. He especially made it in my colors, more like the theme of my channel logo, and I just wanted to have it here in my channel just to have it for the collection, but also to check it out just to see how good this version is. I already did a review of the previous model and this thing was it was just quite awesome. But the question remains, what is different with this version? So to begin with, let's take a close look at the cables. Everything is neatly packed up, as you can see over here. It comes with all the necessary cables for data transfer, charging the system. And that is why I do like about this person, that he also gives you everything. As you can see over here, they are using the original connector here on the system itself. And that is also very cool. With the previous models we did see, or with other versions that have a special micro USB, but that is not with the case of this version. We're going to use the original link cable. Quite interesting and quite unique. But another fun fact is that we're having these cartridges, like the original games. But now you're thinking, why do you need a cartridge? That is the awesome part about the new version. With the cartridges, sadly there's no decal, but I know for a fact ETA Prime had a couple of these with different firmwares on them, or better said, software. Quite interesting. So you have interchangeable cartridges with different kind of software. So it depends how you want to be naughty. It's all possible with the Game Boy Pi from LCL. Alrighty, you take a close look at the second version, or this version that they've released. There are quite some differences. But so let's start with the controls and how does it feel. So we're having the D-pad. I am not the biggest fan of the D-pad in general, or even for the Game Boy Advance original. I think it's way too small in my opinion. The analog stick, it's similar to the analog stick like a Nintendo Switch. It's a very short travel stick, but I think it's one of the best features of the Game Boy. We're having select start, the speakers over here like the original Game Boy. And basically what we're going to get is 4 buttons over here. Okay, so on the top we're going to find the shoulder buttons over here. They are very clickish. Then we're having 2 smaller buttons over here, and these are just amazing that we're having those, simply because we're going to need it for some emulation like PlayStation 1. The connection port over here I've shown you before, and here we're having the cartridge slot. That's basically using more like the fake Game Boy cartridges. High quality, and it clicks in like an original game, and that is pretty cool. Okay, so here in the compartment we can find the rechargeable batteries, and there is only one flaw in this, is that the capacity of these batteries are not very huge. So we're going to give you, I think it was around 2 hours of playtime. Nevertheless, even if you're going to get the bigger ones, the playtime is not that great, and that is I think the biggest con on the system. Okay, so over here we're having the audio jack, volume control and the on and off. And here on the right top we can find the LED indication if the battery is full. But alright, so let's take a close look at the software itself. What can it run? And what are we going to get for our money? That is of course very important. So to begin with, I really like the LCD display, or the IPS display that is inside. So it's a very big improvement over the first one. So as you can see over here, what I do like about it is that we're having quite some different versions of support. The Pi is known of the support of all the old stuff like ColecoVision, Atari, but we can play it up. Let's do PlayStation 1. Dreamcast is also playable, but PSP will always be more like a hit or miss. Because the CM3, if I'm saying it correctly, inside this machine is not powerful enough to run it all. So this version has a completely different layout, as you can see over here. I do like this, but it's more like a personal taste. This hyperspin wheel, I think it's just great. But again, the same story applies with the support. But I just wanted to show you the different cartridge. I think it's just a brilliant idea. But then it's the question, how many times are you going to change the cartridges? Before we're going to do some gameplay, I just wanted to show you something. If you want to adjust the brightness, you can hold select and use the L2 and R2, and these are located over here. There are the smaller buttons at the back, and with this method you can just change out the brightness, and the same applies to the display itself, as you can see over here. So I think it's a genius way and a very easy way to adjust the display. Alright guys, so shall we do a quick side-by-side comparison between the new model and the old model, or yeah, it was a new model, no, you're getting the point. So what is the difference and how good is the quality nowadays? So the most obvious thing is of course the joystick. He added the joystick with the new edition. I think he did it with the older edition back in the day, but now this is just way better, and he also uses high quality joysticks. So that is a very big positive thing, because I really love the joystick. The D-pad, with the new version over here is way better. It's still not one of my favorite D-pads, but when you're looking at the old model, man, it's really stiff and doesn't play that good. And he did improve it big time with the new model. And when you take a close look at the buttons, here we don't have a big difference. I feel that there's less tension on these, so there's a minor difference between them. But when you take a close look at the connections on top, here we're going to get a lot of differences. To begin with, the cartridge that can be removed with the new model can be removed with the old model, the yellow over here. So the shoulder buttons feel way better on the new model. Old model, the new model. So in that case, we're having the same functionalities when it comes with the buttons. But when you can see over here, we're having here a USB connection that we don't have with the new version. And the reason why, because we're going to use the original connector over here. So he did improve it big time when you're looking at the handhelds, the old and the new model. And you can see that with the battery compartment, here we're going to get an also noticeable difference. Now we can just remove the batteries very easily. But the battery life of the new model, I don't know if it's going to be way better than the old model. And of course, the last option is the display itself. Here we're going to get a very nice IPS display, and here we're going to get an old school LCD display. Okay, so the first time we're going to boot up a Dreamcast game. Just start off with one of my favorite systems and see how it runs on the GBA. And the noise you're hearing is doing it all the freaking time and loading up. No. I can get my moves out, but in this case I'm just going to use the joystick. That's what I wanted to try. See, the D-pad, I'm not a big fan of it. Oh man, I hate it. You know what? I just hate it. Come on. I need to press it really hard. Gotcha now. But you can see that N64 runs so much better nowadays. Ah! You can still hear minor hiccups, but it is not really noticeable. Okay, so what do I think of this Pi Game Boy? To be honest, I think in this jungle of handheld, it's just very hard to choose which one will fit your need. It is something you need to decide. So when you're looking at the quality, I think LCL is making one of the best Game Boy Pi based handhelds. I really like what it's doing over here. Again, just the biggest con of the system is the battery life. I do like this extra touch with the cartridges. That's something that made me personally very excited about it. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. I want to thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit the little bell, and I will see you in the next video.